Yeah, I believe in you. I don't believe in lucky sevens. I'm not sure about Loch Ness, but I know I believe in angels. I believe in happiness.
Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to see you. Welcome back to the show. This is the Caffeinated Cooper Show. I'm Elizabeth Cooper. Make sure that you go over to Amazon Prime Video, find us, watch us, love us there, as well as YouTube. Make sure you ring that little bell and you'll always be notified every time we upload a new show. Tonight, I have a very special guest. He was on in 2021. And he is back. You know, a lot of things have happened over the past couple of years, especially the pandemic interrupting so much of production. And tonight we have a couple of interesting questions for Joel Wertman. Wow, Joel Wertman. Of course, my tongue fails me at a pivotal moment. Joel is the Heartland Network CEO and veteran music producer. He is returning to the show this evening. He is currently working with country music star Lucas Hoge on his upcoming album. Joe is working to get back to pre-production on Becoming Alex, a drama series which was scheduled to begin production in 2020 when the pandemic derailed it. Today, with the pandemic nearly over and actors' strike ending, he plans to return to work and debut the series next year. Becoming Alex follows the story of a young woman who is struggling to make it in the music industry. The series will feature music from the show's star, which will also be included in an upcoming album and singles. Joel has also signed syndication deals for Heartland Network's popular music interview show, More Than the Music. The show will be seen in UK, Canada, Australia, and elsewhere. Joel is based in Los Angeles and coming to us tonight from Los Angeles, but frequently travels to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where the Heartland Network is based. Joel is known as a good spotter of talent. He discovered Stacey Newman as a staffer who worked in the editing bay at the Heartland Network, but he realized she would be a great on-air talent. And he gave her a chance to audition for More Than the Music, and she nailed it, and has been one of the network's most popular personalities. And without any further ado, Mr. Joel Wertman. How are you this evening? It is great to have you back on the show. Welcome.
Doing well, thank you.
That's wonderful. So tell us, you know, before we get into a lot of the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about, which is the music interview show that you have on the Heartland Network, Becoming Alex, I want to get your bird's eye view, because you're out there in Los Angeles and the actors' strike is over. The writer's strike has been over for a little while now. What does the climate feel like out there?
It's tough. It's better because it's over, but it is a tough grind. I mean, I think it's very tough on those who are on strike. I mean, it's a long time coming, and I'm happy it happened, even though I sit on kind of the other side of it as well. But it's time, you know.
Mm. So for productions like Becoming Alex, where the pandemic really interrupted what you were doing there, were you able to keep the cast together?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, interestingly enough, I think that, you know, from my perspective, that strike actually happened at the right time because I couldn't, you know, the pandemic shut us down and then the strike shut us down. So kind of, I mean, I don't like a negative thing to help, but it sort of worked out. And I think it will come back a lot stronger.
So would you mind giving us a little bit of refresher of where you are in production right now and the excitement behind your lead talent? She is also a singer, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Well, we purposely cast an actress who could sing. Like I didn't want to fake it out. And I mean, I've done it before where you ghost somebody it's not. It doesn't always work. It's kind of not the real deal. And yeah, we were able to hold most of the cast together because, again, everything got shut down, and it's a really poignant show. And people who got attracted to it and wanted to be in it, they wanted to be in it. It wasn't like just a hired gun kind of thing. Got a
That's
lot to say. And where I'm at right now, all the scripts are done, and we'll get together. We'll start doing reads, and we'll get the thing up, and we'll shoot it.
One of the things that I was a little concerned about, and of course, I don't want to focus on anything negative, but my curiosity has sort of gotten the cat here. We've always heard about a lot of aspiring actors and actresses. They move out to Los Angeles, they try to make it, and there's a high failure rate, right? Because you have to have all your ducks in a row to be able to really propel yourself in the market. And not everybody knows that, right? From around the nation. So
Right.
with the pandemic and now the strike, has there been a smaller pool happening of talent that are really very strong in the business and they're the ones that have stuck? Or is there still the same size of pool of, novice to expert level?
It's a good question, but I think talent always rises no matter what. And just because you try and come out, it doesn't mean you're going to happen. I mean, if a lot of people, it's strange. It's a much different play now than it was when I started, but there's a lot of access now, and because of the social media thing, everybody thinks they're entitled. And they're
Mhm.
not. And just because you can be on social media and it doesn't mean you have what it takes. There's a real essence in somebody who succeeds, and
Mhm.
they got to have drive, and they got to have the talent. I mean, real, true talent, and that always comes to the forefront.
And a support system, some sort of financial support system going, because you do
It
have to
helps.
live too.
Yeah, it helps, but I got to tell you, if you have the drive, you find ways to support yourself.
Mhm, mhm.
I mean, I'm one of those guys. I came right out of college, and I supported myself. I mean, I didn't have a choice.
Right, right. I love those days because we have so much gumption. There's the fear is very minimal
Right.
because we're all superheroes at that age,
That's
and
right.
we do find a way. So going back to becoming Alex, what are some of the greatest, the high points in production that you've seen that gives you such a passion and a drive to keep moving forward? Because you've had a lot of walls, just, the pandemic and a strike, and you've had a lot of, let's not say walls, how about road bumps, speed bumps, right?
Yeah, but I think the thing about anything you do, whether music, content series, you got to have something to say. If you got something to say that's important and you can strike a nerve and connect with people, it's going to work. And that's been it for me the whole time. I mean, whether it's this series, other stuff that I've done, like I don't really do stuff just to do it.
Mhm.
I want to, it's all about making some sort of difference. It's like if you can touch somebody in a particular way that resonates, you've done the job, and that's what matters. It's like
Absolutely.
it's like politics.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like a good movie.
Exactly.
With my eyes, I've seen thousands of movies, but
Yeah,
what do I remember? Just a handful.
exactly. You remember what touches you emotionally and what you connect with.
Right, right, absolutely. So, as a story plot it is a young lady who's
Mhm,
breaking into the music industry.
mhm.
Are the challenges that she faces something that resonates with every single musician out there? Or are there some unique challenges to Alex?
I think the biggest challenge is it's not just about a musician. The musician is the backdrop. It's the driver, but it's about the person. that's why the show's, I mean, I know that's why the show is going to connect, because it's a very human level show. It's all about relationships. It's about, with this particular girl, it's the relationship with her mother, the relationship with her family, the relationship with how she sees the world. That's what, and it's again, it's incredibly relatable. Like, they're common themes that people experience all the time.
So when do you foresee to be able to release it, and where can we see it?
Well, you'll see it initially on the Heartland network.
Okay.
And if everything goes well, hopefully it will hit probably by the summer. We start shooting now and get it ready. I mean, maybe by late spring, but likely the summer. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So I'm just going to type that in here so that everybody can see. So summer of 2024, Becoming Alex on the Heartland Network. Now, when you created the Heartland Network, what was your vision?
Well, I didn't actually create that network, but I took it over.
Mm-hmm.
But I've kind of fashioned. When I first came in, it was kind of a real hodgepodge of things, and I really wanted to stylize it so it had. The log line is it's a country lifestyle network, but that's, I guess, for the consumer ad sales stuff. But the network, the shows on it, they speak to people, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. I mean, it's a platform, and it's a platform that has. It can be, if it's any platform that's used in the right way, again, to make some sort of difference or just get through. That's the purpose of it. And you're just doing, I mean, I know this is going to sound ridiculous. If you're just doing this stuff to make money, I don't think you'll be successful. Like, that's what I found through my whole career. It's, money's a byproduct. It's great, and it's a great tool, but it doesn't guarantee success. If you're doing stuff just to do it for the money, I think, first of all, it's totally unsatisfying. Second, I don't see, the rate of success is not enormous. Things just eventually go away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think for any entrepreneur out there, anyone who's started a business, you're absolutely right. If you just look at the bottom line, the potential earning power, it has to have a heart.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. And if it has a heart, you're going to, that's the thing. You're going to resonate with people.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to watch you, and people are going to come back, and they're going to, not everybody's going to take the same thing out of it. It's like a song, people remember songs because they have emotional attachments to it. It's the same with series and programs. You get an emotional attachment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about Lucas Hoge. How did you find him? Where did you meet him? He is a country music artist.
Right.
And he's coming out with some new music.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about him.
So it's funny that he first came to me through his management. He's got a outdoor show that was on the National Geographic channel. And we'd seen the show, and the show was pitched to us. I'm not a big outdoors guy, but the show was cool. Mm-hmm. And he's an interesting fellow. And we talked about picking the show up. And then we looked at it, negotiated with them, and we ultimately picked the show up. But as we were doing the negotiations for the show, I got to know him. And he's a talented guy, like a really talented guy. I mean, he had a #1 record. And I think he can, I would say right now he's kind of a mid-level guy in country music. He could be a very significant artist. That's what I think, and that's why we decided to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, he also has a wonderful look.
Yeah, he's got a great look, but it's also about the songs.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And I pulled up a picture here into the broadcast. A lot of people do like to look at the artists, and I can remember being a preteen girl and I had all the posters on my wall and stuff. I'm sure that's good for business, but
he's also extremely personable.
mm,
I mean, yeah, okay, I'm not, yeah, I get he's good looking, but he's really and he's like the real deal. He's again got something to say, and what he's got to say is not just the run of the mill. Hey, I'm a country star and I'm in the back of my truck and all that. He's got something more interesting.
that's wonderful. And so will he be on the interview-based show more than the music?
Oh yeah, we'll definitely do a piece on him.
Ah, that's awesome. All right, so Miss Newman, you also discovered I'm I'm scurrying Stacy Newman. You discovered her. She has a great following right now on More Than the Music on the Heartland Network. Tell us a little bit about what was it, because I think so many people think of the stories that we've heard back in the day where if you just go to Hollywood and you have a great look and you're in a restaurant that a lot of the producers, a lot of the higher people frequent, that maybe you'll be discovered like so many others. It really doesn't work that way, but
No.
you that has a wonderful eye.
I've been pretty lucky that way. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's happened to me in music. I mean, I had it with the Goo Goo Dolls, same thing. I mean, I saw them. I was one of 3 people in a club. I mean, I just knew it. Stacey Newman is also really interesting. I mean, she was an editor in the editing room working for us. And I just kind of got to know her. I would walk in, say hello. She's very quirky and very different. And I just thought, she's an interesting character. She's an interesting person. She's got really interesting ideas. And I just called her in one day and I said, "You want to go in front of the camera?" And she goes, "Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't." I said, I think it will work. She goes, "No, I'm just an editor. I don't want to go in front of the camera." I said, let's just try. You got nothing to lose. We'll shoot a pilot, see what it looks like. And, she worked. I mean, she's herself. I mean, what you see in front of that camera is exactly who she is. No filters, nothing. So there's just something like, I don't know what I can't explain it. I just knew, like, I could see that she could connect with people. Like people would, she's very, she's very much like everybody else, but she's
Real.
Yeah, she's extremely real. And when we started that show, I mean, it was tough to get artists for her to interview. I mean, I had to literally pull out a lot of stops with, I just used everybody I knew. And at the beginning, it was tough. I mean, people did not want to sit down with her. They didn't know who she was. But now, I mean, I literally don't do anything. I mean, they call to get interviewed. Like she's got a real place now, and I mean, it doesn't matter the size of the artist. I mean, I don't care how big they are, or how small they are all calling to get on her show because she makes them really comfortable, and she doesn't just talk about stupid stuff. She does a lot of research, and it's interesting, really interesting.
Does she know everyone? I mean, obviously she was working on the show as an editor, but is her heart and soul in music where she recognizes everybody?
She knows. She definitely, I mean, that's one of the things because I talked to her about this stuff before we even started. What are you into? What do you think? And I mean, she knew where I came from, obviously. She's like, "Oh, you know those guys, you know those guys, you know those guys." Like, yeah, you should interview them.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
yeah, no, she's definitely into it. I mean, she's real. She's absolutely the real deal.
So as you said, that's all her, unfiltered.
Yeah.
But were there any coaching classes, anything that she needed to do, or just she was perfect for it?
She just needs to build confidence in front of the camera. I mean, honestly, that was it. I mean, she would always come to me and go, "What do you think? What do you think?" And I said, "Be yourself. All you got to do is be yourself." That's what I'm banking. If you can be yourself, it's going to be successful. If you try to be somebody else or, it should be like this, it's not going to work. As long as you're yourself. I mean, the thing about programs when they're on the air, especially these kinds of shows, well, even series, the audience vests with the person. And if they
Mhm.
can't vest with the person, it doesn't happen. And that's what makes these shows successful. It's all about vesting with who you're watching and actually having that connection with who you're watching. I
Mhm.
mean, I've everything I've done career-wise has been all on that idea. And if you get the right one or the right people, it works. If you just, again, it's like, if you're just doing it for the money, forget it. It's
Mhm.
never going to happen. It's just going to be vacuous.
Absolutely. So you have a couple of projects that I'm assuming you haven't really released out to the public, but they're in pre-production and some in production. So Cooking Right with Roz.
Yeah.
What is that about, and who is Roz?
It's a cooking show, but she's British. She's written 3 books. But again, same deal. Read the books. I mean, I'm not a chef or anything, but interesting recipes. The way they were written was really interesting.
Mhm.
And she's also extremely quirky. I mean, one of the ways she's been described before was like this wonderful bundle of chaos. She's again, same thing. Like we shot a pilot and she's herself. I mean, just really interesting personality. She's extremely funny without meaning to be funny. It's just who she is.
Mhm.
And same deal. I mean, there's going to be people connect. So it's funny. I mean, again, those kinds of shows that are 1 or 2 people in them. Those personalities better have something interesting that people can relate to. Otherwise, again, they don't work. And I think that show is going to be successful as well because she's got the personality. She's interesting.
And so you said that she's British. What genre of cooking does she make on the show?
It's kind of family. Like she shows you how to cook on budget. Like if moms, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but if moms, are trying to make the most of the meal selection, like she's about, don't spend a fortune. You can do this as well, and you get the same results. And I'm going to show you how to do it.
So sort of like home cooking on a budget?
Yeah, but it's not just, yeah, that's true, but it's not home. I mean, they're actually, I mean, they're they're really tasteful, and I don't know. She's always said to me that she doesn't like going to restaurants because she can make the same thing at home. She's not a restaurant chef.
Absolutely. It
And the truth is, I've eaten some of her stuff. I mean, it's like incredible.
absolutely. I love to cook as well. And then I also worked in many restaurants when I was in high school and college.
Mhm.
And I've gotten to that point too, to where you can go to a restaurant and be able to pick out what's in it because at most restaurants, unless it's really high end and specialty, they
Mhm.
really can't do too much for
Right,
the general public. So you
right,
have general foundation that they're just building on, and
right.
that's interesting that
Very interesting. And she kind of, I mean, the thing that I've noticed, I mean, I've obviously read her stuff, but it's not just the regular, but puts in like high end stuff. So it's interesting. She's got a very interesting approach. Really interesting. And I think, again, I'm no gourmet foodie, but it's interesting.
okay, so that's on the Heartland Network, and where and when can we find Cooking with Roz?
That will probably come out in the spring.
In the spring, 2024. And then there's another show, The Wolf Brothers.
Right.
Tell us about The Wolf Brothers, please.
Wolf Brothers is going to be a spin-off from Dracula's Kung Fu Theater, which is a massive hit for us. That was that was out of nowhere. But again, that was just an idea. Same thing. The guy who plays Dracula, he was in the editing room. And I was just, we were talking, the program director and I for the network, we were going, well, Kung Fu movies are really popular. We own another brand called the Retro Channel. which is where we're going to do it. And she goes, well, we should do, what do you think about doing Kung Fu? And I said, yeah, I get it. People like watching the stuff, but everybody doesn't. I mean, there's nothing interesting about it. And then I go, well, I got this idea. Like, what if we had Dracula doing the Kung Fu movies? And it was just like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it, and we're kind of conceptualizing it. And I was again, always walking in and talking. And this guy, whose name is Brad, extremely funny. He's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I just mentioned it to him, and he starts doing this accent. I went, you're it, man. And that's it. Well, same deal. Tried it, put him in front of a camera. I mean, he's hilarious. And we shot 13 to start with, and the show took off. I mean, it really took off. I mean, he's got, his following is huge now. I mean, it just like out of nowhere. And so then we started doing these shows, and we did 2 seasons. And again, another editor and an IT guy. I'm always good at going inside. And we're talking. I go, yeah, it'd be kind of cool, we should come up with this other idea. Like, what if these wolf guys were hunters? And we did a commercial, and these 2 guys were like nuts. I mean, just really funny. And I go, okay, let's write it, and let's get it up, and we'll spin it off Dracula. So that's kind of how it's happening.
Wow. Yeah, Brad is fantastic. He's been on the show before talking about Dracula's Kung Fu Theater.
The guy is hilarious.
He really is. And, when I spoke to him, it was a little while ago. So it was really during that first release of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you put magic together.
It took off. And I got to tell you something. When the show was already taking off. I mean, do you know who Vince Gilligan is?
No.
Okay, he did Breaking Bad. He's
yes,
producer of Breaking Bad. He saw the show, went on TV, and I don't remember the show he was on, but the host asked him, "What's your favorite television show?" And he said, "Well, there's this show on the Retro Channel called Dracula's Kung Fu Theater. I love it. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen."
What?
I mean, it exploded after that.
Wow. I'm not surprised. I mean, he was a wild character when I interviewed him, and the show is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, if anybody's hearing about that for the first time, they have to go. All you have to do is Google Dracula's Kung Fu Theater, and everything comes up. All right. So the Wolf Brothers are a spinoff of that. That's got to be hysterical behind camera.
Oh yeah. Fun to make. Really fun to make.
I mean, that's so wonderful, because when something is fun to make, you love it. You look forward to going to work. You love being there. Laughter is such a wonderful medicine of happiness.
Yeah. I mean, like I said previously, you got to make a difference, however you do that, whether it's through drama, people think, or just through the laughter. I mean, like, this guy is making a difference. I mean, he's bringing a lot of joy to a lot of people.
Yeah, during a time where a lot of people really need it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was about to say. So Dracula's Kung Fu Theater, if I remember correctly, it started not during the pandemic, was it? Or was it right before?
No, it was, let's see. It was during, it was started right before we got kind of shut down.
Yeah.
Got 13 done, and then we got shut down from I closed off, like, all production got shut down. We just shut everything down. And then we started shooting again when it started to be safer.
Yes. There were a lot of interesting things that a lot of the studios were doing. One of the most interesting that I thought, I was speaking with an actress who was working with Universal, and they had these lanyards that you'd wear. And if you were within, 6 feet of each other, the lanyard would turn red. So you knew to back up, and then it would turn green again. It was some very interesting things that I think so many years flash forward. A lot of people will want to interview people like yourself and say, what was it like? We were just children then, but what was it?
Always crazy, I tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. So I have a question for you. And being a man in the music world, so we have a interesting thing going on right now where the Beatles and the Rolling Stone, they have both top 10, they're in the top 10 of the Billiard charts. First time since 1960s. What are your thoughts on that happening now in 2023?
Well, of course, I'm like a huge fan of both.
Mhm.
As far as the Stones go, I mean, they just they cut the record. So I think it's cool, and I think there's always, the bottom line to everything. It's always about the songs and the music. And if the music's good and the songs are good, it's going to happen.
Mhm.
Stones, I mean, they've been around a long time. They make great records, and it was cool. The Beatles thing, I think, it's very interesting how they did it. I think it's great. And in that particular case, I mean, I see the benefit of AI,
Mm.
but I have a lot of trepidation about it normally. Like it can be very, really misused.
That was my next question was about the Beatles side of it. So their song is titled "Then Now and Then,"
Yeah.
and that is the one that is within the top 10 Billiard chart hits right
Yeah.
now.
It's number one in the UK.
You know, so to use artificial intelligence, I mean, everybody is buzzing in every sector of business and of the world right now. AI can potentially do so much, may it be good or bad. In the music world,
Well,
there's
I think the use of AI in that particular single, that was fine. I mean, that just basically what they did is they separated things out. I mean, I'm guilty of doing it also, but it really is not classic AI. It is taking things and using technology for it. The bad part of AI is actually taking somebody's performance
Mhm.
and using it and then redoing it. I mean, I can't remember that they did some single with Drake. Like they took his performance and created an AI presence of him. That's not cool.
right, right. What about the songwriting side of it?
That's also not cool. That's really bad. Like I mean, there's a big difference in a human actually writing something and a computer writing it.
Yeah.
And if that becomes the norm, I mean, where does that leave everybody else? I mean, I'm not just talking about the creative process. I'm talking about people in general.
Oh, exactly. It's too much. And I think, that is the main consensus of most people who are either in the industry or in any business industry. Everybody has a marketing side to their business.
Right.
And where do you see the point at which AI will really have to go through regulations, or is this just a hairy beast that we're not going to be able to tackle
No, no, I think it's got to happen like now.
now?
Yeah. I mean, if it gets out of hand, I mean, really gets out of hand, it will get. I mean, there'll be no stopping. It's like leaving a genie out of the bottle. It'll be impossible. It'll never get put back in. I mean, it's it's got to happen now. I mean, this whole thing with the strike
Hmm.
and them cutting that deal. Like, I don't know what the specifics of the deal are yet because I haven't seen it, but there is a big component on this AI thing and using people's likeness without permission. That's a big deal. And again, that needed to be stopped like now.
Well, and I do have a question about that because, it is public knowledge that the strike is over for SAG-AFTRA, but like you said, the details of the deal, I'm still unfamiliar of the details of the deal. From what I understand, as far as revenue and payment,
Very good deal from that
Yeah,
perspective. Yeah.
good deal for that side. But what about AI? Did they just table that? What?
No, I think that, I mean, my understanding is it has been dealt with, and there's going to be, like, first of all, they can't do it without permission.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, it's your likeness, it's your process, it's you. You know, stealing somebody's, it's like used to be when, I mean, 100 years ago, you couldn't take somebody's picture because you stole their soul.
Right.
Same idea. I mean, who has the right to do something like that? It's your essence.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, that's very good news. Absolutely. I do have, if we can backtrack just a minute, I do have Ken Dodge on here. He's asking a question so this is in reference to the Wolf Brothers and Dracula's Kung Fu Theater. He's saying at the end, could you have the real Wolf Brothers from American Pickers do a cameo at the end? That's an interesting idea, right?
I'll think about it.
So as far as music scene going forward, we talked about Lucas Hoge. Do you have anyone else that you have in the works, or what can we see from you next beyond what we're talking about? Where do you see?
Well, I can tell you that Dracula will be putting out a record.
What?
Oh yeah, yeah. We're doing a record with him.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Well, you can see that he's got the ability, because the theme song from Dracula's Kung Fu Theater, that's him. Like, he's doing it. He's the rapper. So
He's coming out with an album. So is it all rap? Is it mixed in with
yeah, it's kind of mixed.
kind of
It'll be mostly like him doing his thing, you know. But the songs will be really accessible.
Are you doing music videos too?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is amazing. So what is the timeline? When can we check into the Heartland Network to
Well, they're
retro?
working on the record now, so if all goes well, we might be looking at February to release.
That is fantastic. Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations on the success. And
Thanks.
thank you so much for coming on and giving us an update. These are really fantastic things. I'm so glad that Becoming Alex has wheels again and everybody's able to move forward and beyond some of this stuff that we've been going through. This is really going to be the talk of the decade. And I think I'm hoping for smooth sailing for the next 6 years. And, yeah, and I appreciate your time so much. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Real pleasure.
Yeah, I'm beside myself with Dracula coming out with an album. I'm so excited. And what you've done with Retro TV and the Heartland Network, it's really fantastic. So, what would be the best way for people to follow you? Do we follow the individual shows like
Yeah, you can follow. I mean, you can follow the networks. If you want to go on the web, you go to either Get After It Media website. Each network has its, like, Watch Heartland TV.com is that one. Retro Television is another one. If you go and want to watch pure streaming, you go to It's Real Good TV, which has all the properties in it, and the shows also individually. You can get them, stream them.
Oh, that's great. It's Real Good TV. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Joel. I hope that you have a wonderful evening out there in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We're kind of, I'm here in Atlanta, so we're getting cool a little bit. The whole nation says it's cool here because I say it's cold when it's 50, but 50 and a little rainy and stuff. I'm ready for a flight out west and get warm again.
Do it.
I certainly will. Well, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Again, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
You're very welcome. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching the show and staying tuned and commenting. I love to see the interactiveness. I absolutely love it here on Be Live TV. Everybody, we are blessed. You are blessed. Mwah. I love you, and stay tuned for another great show. Thank you for watching.